Hey, this is Chance Mars.
This is Gabriel Hartman.
And I'm Chuck D.
And we are the Three You Must Hear. Today we have a guest, Austin Fletcher, the owner of A&E Landscaping. And we're going to talk to him about business, and he's been our close friend for well over a decade. And we're just going to talk about that in life and where he's at now, and as well as us. Alright, what do you got to say?
Alright, so how long you been doing law enforcement, dog?
No, it's the mustache.
You look like you were carrying in that movie, Me, Myself, and Irene.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I've seen that
bro.
You haven't? That's a good ass movie.
Man.
It looks just like that.
Now he used to look like Kevin Bacon. Now he looks like Drew Carey, like in his prime. That's funny.
He also looks like
He's growing up.
Ethan Hawke, no way. Okay, so Caroline's news friend said that to me one time. And I was like, no way, you guys are completely wrong.
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke?
Yeah.
Maybe like a training day, Ethan Hawke.
Yeah.
Nah, he's more buff.
Did he have a mustache?
He did. Now he had to go to
Goatee?
I
Yeah.
don't even remember.
Yeah,
He
I'm
was
pretty
in
sure.
he was in the first Purge movie.
Ooh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, but yeah.
That is wild.
I know.
But for sure, we stick with KB.
Yeah. So, oh, you're good. All right. So, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say before I started joking. What was life like growing up, man?
Growing up, it was pretty cool, actually, you know. It had its struggles, you know, in itself. My parents divorced when I was really young. So that was kind of difficult, especially having some of the friends that I had who had two-parent homes.
Mm-hmm.
I always kind of felt like I was missing something there with that. And then, you know, as time went on, you know, I would go and visit my dad every weekend and everything like that typical split home, you know, arrangement.
Personal.
Yeah.
And at the time, he lived in Texas, you know, around North Richland Hills, Dallas, Fort Worth area. So it wasn't like a big deal to go down there or anything.
Yeah. That's cool.
And then, but whenever I turned like 15, my dad took a job in North Carolina. So at that point, you know, it was kind of difficult because he was halfway across the country.
Yeah.
The travel part of us, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so it made visiting with him really hard, you know.
Yeah.
So I feel like personally, you know, being a young teenager growing up, I had to learn a lot of things on my own.
Yeah.
You know, I could ask my dad for advice and everything, but it wasn't like having him there
Like
to bounce
Yeah.
things off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like you had advice, but you was basically learning on your own. It was
Yeah.
like you didn't have that permanent father figure.
For sure, yeah. I mean, I had friends, parents in my life who I could, you know, look to as, you know, like that role model of like what a man's supposed to be like.
Yeah.
And I feel like I based a lot of my values at the time off of that.
That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Even though I basically my dad basically, I was living with my dad. He was never like comfortable talking to me about the stuff like sex and growing up. And, yeah, and whenever I would just start dating girls, like one day I just looked in my drawer because I seen it halfway open when I got home, and there was just a bunch of condoms. And I was like, okay, cool. Yeah.
So that's what it was like growing up with a dad. Like,
Yeah.
I've always done that because I had the mom that was both roles. Like, I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
So like,
It was
as
like
far as
opposite
like
for me.
with my father figure or who my father was at that point in time, it would have been something like, I don't know who your daddy is. Like,
Yeah.
something like that. Like I guess he had a lot of issues with who my father was at the time. So until I found out myself what was really going on, it was like, I guess like he had got locked up and she didn't want to have to explain to me what had happened and what was going on. So
I feel like it never really affected me. Like, I guess my dad died before I was born.
yeah.
It never played a part for me. Like,
My mama was pretty much the man and the woman, and honestly, I definitely want to give my shout out to my mom because she just taught me, you know, that like tough love was the best love. But honestly, I love being from the generation that I grew up in because we grew up in a generation where a mom was able to do that because of how she grew up.
we
Like,
can survive.
we can survive. I could be left in the house, like not even saying that stuff like this even happen, but I could be in the house at 6 years old. You can't leave a 6-year-old in the house, man. They burn the house down.
Yeah.
Like, I knew nothing. If you knocked on the door and I didn't know you, you wouldn't know I was there.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna, oh, my mom's not home. I'm like, just kids, they just wouldn't cut from our call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, man. So how was high school for you? Like you said, you was 15.
Yeah. High school was fun. I definitely had my fair share of fun in high school.
Yeah. So,
We went with you in Dixon, but you went somewhere else, didn't you?
No,
You went to Marietta,
I
right?
went to Medill in the
Oh,
8th
Medill,
grade
yeah.
for like 3/4 of high school.
Damn, I didn't know that. I didn't know I thought you went longer than that.
What's just your output on Dixon?
Oh, Dixon was cool. I mean, it's definitely it wasn't as nice as it is now. You know,
Yeah,
just driving by.
I know. My nephew started going to Dixon, and he's like, it's pretty cool compared to Ardmore.
How many people was there when we was there?
It was, I don't know.
70 people? Or more?
No, it's more than that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
So it wasn't that small.
yeah, it wasn't really small, but now it's like, I can't remember what my nephew told me, but they're getting up there to where they can like play games against Ardmore and Plainview and shit. Like,
Yeah.
So y'all didn't have enough people for a football team.
No, we
Yeah,
totally
yeah.
did.
They had football,
I mean,
baseball,
we
all
still
that shit.
played like
Okay.
Ardmore and Plainview and stuff and a lot of sports.
Oh,
we
yeah.
did. We played Ardmore scrimmages.
yeah, I can't.
Ardmore and Plainview have like wrestling teams and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
Dixon
Yeah,
never
we
had
never
a
had
wrestling
wrestling.
team. You
Yeah.
know, we had like football, baseball,
Man,
basketball,
We had powerlifting.
softball, powerlifting. Yeah.
I would have done wrestling in a heartbeat if they
Oh,
had
I
a
would
Dixon.
too.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
I was already doing jiu-jitsu and stuff,
Yeah.
so man, I would have, that would have been fun.
So did you play sports in high school or?
Not in high school. I played in middle school.
Oh, really? What did you play?
I played everything.
Really?
Yeah. I was
That's
like
what made
mini
you stop?
jock. I don't know, man. I just kind of.
Lost the passion for it?
I started skateboarding like really heavily. Got into the more kind of like artsy scene. I did art 1 and 2. I did speech and debate,
Yeah.
and I skated. You know.
Yeah.
That's cool. He said I was
That's
trying to
So
be
you was doing,
a trainer.
yeah, so you was doing good in school.
Yeah, I did pretty good. I think I graduated with a pretty high grade point average.
Oh, really?
But I'll tell you, I'll be straight up honest. The reason I had such a high GPA when I graduated was because I did alternative school. I think it was like halfway through my junior year. I was like smoking a ton of weed. Like I didn't want to go to school anymore. I just thought it was dumb, and
Yeah.
I just didn't see the value in it. And I didn't plan on going to college or anything. And so, I just wanted to be done with it and like get the credits and have the high school diploma.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's really all that counts, man. There's so many people that probably gave up or just was going through too many things and stopped there from getting to high school.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and a lot of like really successful
Congratulations.
people. A lot of really successful people are high school dropouts. High school and college dropouts.
Yeah,
but
for
at the
real.
same
It's
time,
not for
for the
everybody.
people that what it is, education is everything, and not everybody is successful enough to drop out and become something like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The fact that you still stuck in there and strive to get it, man, that's what I congratulate.
It's all I appreciate that, and I feel like it's all about mindset.
Yeah.
I be trying
The
to
type of
rob my
mindset-
kid like any way I can, bro.
Yeah.
You want to be the smartest kid in the class. Like you might get laughed at now, but they'll be kissing your shoes in high school. Like
Yeah.
we joke about it. I call it a smart cookie, but like at the same time, it was a book she had, and now I use it as an example every time, like and it just a motivator because I want my generation to be successful. Don't be the generation that's around here wanting to just be too grown before you become grown.
That's
Until
the
you
problem.
grow, your brain is just.
These kids is way too grown.
Yeah.
And man, they don't wanna slow down and learn some shit. They don't wanna mess it up. But that's how we was too. It's just
But our
we gotta live and
generation
learn, you
is
know?
different though. Our parents were almost from the like, it wasn't. They came from they just came from the segregation days. You know what I'm saying? The racism was still strong days, so they was hardened. And their generation before that would have been the generation that was from the cowboy, Great Depression days. Like there was dead piece that was little in this day.
the human body is supposed to be able to run 40 miles, at least 40 miles at a time.
I believe it. I mean, look
Like-
at David Goggins.
Our indigenous,
Yeah.
our
He's doing
indigenous
ultra
people used
marathons.
to.
That's 240 miles.
Yeah.
That's
was 18 miles in, talking on video
Talking about-
chat.
Yeah.
Talking about getting over on video chat.
Yeah.
That's
Totally
crazy.
Yeah.
So we talked about Austin. How did you get the nickname? How did you become KB?
I
Killer
forgot.
Bud.
Okay, so
Gotta be.
funny story. That actually came from Chuck's mom.
Oh, really?
Chuck's mom started that.
Really?
She said one day she looked at me and she said, you know, you look like that one guy from the movie where he dances. And, yeah. And at the time, everyone was kind of busted out laughing. It was like a light bulb went off everyone's saw.
Yeah.
I was like, all right. I mean, I'll take it.
Yeah.
It's
That's a
not-
good.
You know, he's a fairly good looking.
But really, I think Gabby had said something first. That's why we all started laughing.
Was
when
it
she.
Gabby?
Yeah, that's why we all
And then
started.
Linda probably chimed in and was like, yeah.
That's
yeah,
why
that-
everybody
I-
started laughing whenever she said it, because we
Yeah.
all looked at Gabby and started laughing. Like,
It probably was Gabby.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
but
was.
like I said, back then
No,
I was
I think I used to
movie.
picture. I used to say that I wanted to do a movie of like actors that look like, you know, people that look like actors but in their prime. And you just, to me, when growing up, I used to swear up and down you look like a young Kevin.
and then my mom walked in talking about, you look like that dancing movie.
Yeah.
That sure does, mama. Yes, he does.
But I think it's actually Chuck who started the KKB.
Yeah. Chuck started the
I
KB.
think
Everybody thought it meant Killer Bud.
Yeah, something. Yeah. People had their own, a lot of people had their own interpretation.
Yeah.
It's Killer Bud.
Yeah.
Assumed the acronym was.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
probably had
Yeah.
their reasons to think that shit. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I told one of my girlfriends that my nickname was CP5K, and she was like, "What does CP stand for?" And I was like, well, "Chuck's mom gave me that nickname," and I was like, "Chancy Poo." Yeah, it's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
So like, how did you?
Getting everybody named.
I know, right? So like, how did you get the idea? When did that come to you that maybe you wanted to have your own business, and when did you like decide that it was landscaping that you wanted to do?
Well, honestly, you know, during the pandemic, when the pandemic hit, I had been in the auto collision industry as an estimator. I actually wrote estimates to give to the insurance company when somebody crashed their vehicle.
Yeah.
So what would happen was they would bring the car in. I would go over every inch of the car, take pictures from every angle, and then write up all of the damage, you know, on an Excel sheet.
Yeah.
And I would have all of our information and everything in there. And then once I wrote the estimate for the damage that I could see, at that point the insurance company would do like a pre-approval of the estimate based off of the pictures that I sent them.
Yeah.
And then after we got that pre-approval, the car would go into the shop, and then the mechanics would start tearing it down and seeing the extent of the damage on the inside, so that you can't see it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of it's like everyone knows that insurance companies are, you know, they can be kind of shady.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't mean to speak bad on any insurance companies
Yeah.
specifically or anything. It's just
Some of them are like long charts.
Yeah.
Some of them are like all stand. Like they stand by their word.
well, and honestly, you can't really hate on them because that's their job.
Just-
Yeah,
their
it's
job,
strictly
their
business.
job is to insure the vehicle for as little cost as possible.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
so it's like that's their business. You
Yeah.
know? You can't hate on someone for
So
their
sports
business.
cars is prone to be crashed. They know that they're making an investment in you. So
Well, yeah, that's why the insurance is a lot higher for cars like that.
Yeah.
You know,
Totally makes sense.
horsepower, the color of the car.
I know.
You know, does it have 2 or 4 doors? Like
Yeah.
weird stuff. You know.
Yeah.
Like,
What?
So did that help you, like, doing the estimations? Did that help you with your business you're doing now?
yes, in a big way it did
With
because
your
I got
bids and
this-
everything like that?
Yeah, well, not really my bids because it's like comparing apples to oranges, but it gave me a sense of business in general. You know, like how a business is ran, how a business makes money. You know, like overhead. You know, like balance sheet kind of stuff. Because the more time it took to fix the vehicle, you know, it would end up costing me money. Because as an estimator, I was paid an hourly rate plus commissions. So if I hit all these little goals within my position, details about how quickly the car was fixed and customer reviews and stuff like that,
Yeah.
I would get a fat bonus, like a really fat bonus.
That'd be great.
And, so yeah, it's like every little thing that I looked at to try and get that bonus is stuff that would, equal to what you're looking at as far as selling products or services and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So it helped me in a big way, And I
Yeah.
had some pretty good mentors at Collision Works too.
Oh yeah.
My manager, Susie, was the wife of the president of the company. So I kind of got to talk to some people who were high up there in
Yeah.
Collision Works. I got to know them and would bounce things off of them and stuff like that. So it was really cool,
Yeah.
It was like my
So
first
surround
introduction
yourself
to like
with people.
business mentorship.
Yeah, that's
So
great.
how did you decide to go from that to the landscaper?
Well, I had a mower, I had a weed eater, and
That's
you
what
know,
it is.
dude,
You gotta make
yeah.
money.
Well, it's like I was on unemployment for the last half of 2020, and back then the unemployment was paid quite a bit of money.
It was,
Like I made more getting unemployment than I was at my job. Not figuring the bonuses and stuff for hitting my goals, but it was I could live off of it, and I've never been one to just kind of sit around and collect money because after the first couple of weeks of doing that, it's like
Yeah.
I had no meaning in life.
Before you start to be positive and hanging around more positive people, the more you'll see the negative, and you will want to eliminate, not even use that word.
Exactly, because then you
You're
know
going
man
to
out.
allow it to weed itself out of your life. God is going to push all the negativity out of your life when you start being more positive. Even if you don't believe in God in general, like it's in Jesus, and you just believe in a higher power, just know that it all starts with your mindset. Like you said, the way you think, you gotta start with you first before you can do anything. If you constantly think negative, like, oh man, I'm gonna go to work, have a bad day, watch a if I don't smoke,
Bitch gonna piss
before I
me
go
off
to
as soon as I get
work, you automatically projected that.
I already know that.
Into the atmosphere, into the space, into just whatever it is that's karma.
Yeah.
So you get what you receive. I call it equivalent exchange. Whatever you give out, you receive back. So it just like a revolving door. Whenever you sit there and think, you probably had this happen before. Been like, man, you owe me like $45, $50. You've been down to me. Watch, I'm gonna run into him today. And you run into him. Like you spoke it up because you gave that much energy that you spoke it into existence. And if you took that and spoke stuff like, man, watch, I'm gonna get this new lawnmower, ain't nothing, watch, it's gonna fall out of nowhere. Just imagine you can put that same type of energy into something positive as you can a negative.
But yeah.
And
It's because
Like, that's the law of attraction.
Yeah, we all get what we focus on.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, have you ever gotten a vehicle, and maybe it was something you wanted, maybe it was something that you needed, but it's like, once you get that vehicle, you start seeing every single other one. They were always there.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't realize it, but that's the kind of vehicle you drive, so it's like,
So now you
Now
see
you
that.
see it
Yeah.
see it literally everywhere.
Yeah.
Your vehicle's twin everywhere.
Yeah. No, it's like
That makes sense.
It's like a subconscious thing.
It is.
Because you
Yeah.
thought of
You're
it so
focused on
much.
it now.
Yeah.
That's all you see.
Yeah, for
Honestly.
If
So
you're looking
it
for
is.
it, that's what I say. And if you're looking for something enough, you're gonna find it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If you're looking, If
Yeah.
you dig enough, you're gonna find it.
Yeah.
Find whatever your mind wants you to.
Yeah, and it's like whenever I started doing the writing classes and the acting and shit, like I got around a lot of really, really positive people who gave me like a lot of tips, like on how to, do like certain things and how to learn a script under a month, And it was like my whole world flipped because I really didn't have any time at all, like out of work, like we did, like the director called it guerrilla rehearsals because we were just going at it every day until the show.
Yeah.
It was insane. But
So that gave you like a sense of discipline.
yeah, it did. I was
you know
like,
you had to be there every day.
yeah, I literally woke up in the middle of the night one night and I was rehearsing one of my lines. I was like, it was the first thing I said. I was like, what the fuck? Like I even told them about that. Like and they were like, yeah, no,
Even something.
yeah. They were like,
You gotta
"Oh,
give yourself something to do every single day.
yeah, like it was
Take
pretty
it
cool, yeah. And even then, like, even the stories that came up with, like, they're just like the people, like, they really like my stories, and it would also give me, like, hints and, like, ways to, like, write around it, and, like, just different, stuff like that, and it really helped out a lot. Yeah. Yeah, it is cool. And, Yeah, I got a
They
director.
make good people.
Yeah, I got a director attached to one of my scripts, and it was gonna be a movie, but now we're gonna make it like a short series.
Congratulations.
Thank you, and we're just gonna see where it goes from there. Yeah, but
I hope it's something successful because then that would open the door for us to start doing
Yeah.
a lot of things that we did.
yeah,
So how you think? What's your future for A&E?
Grow and expand.
hell yeah.
I definitely want to always have an operation here in Carter County.
Mhm.
But eventually, you know, my wife and I are gonna find ourselves down south, probably around the Dallas area.
Yeah,
We want to buy land outside of the metroplex.
Yeah.
Those, cities, you know, because it's really dense and it's like you know, concrete jungle.
Yeah.
Dallas Fort Worth.
for real.
But once you get outside of that, it's all still, you know, nature and farming, basically.
Yeah,
It's not everything bigger in Texas.
Same type of work.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So that's my plan with A&E is to basically just grow and scale.
Mhm.
Franchising.
Yeah, I've considered doing that, franchising it, but with us being in, you know,
Smaller.
well, and another thing is we're in the second year of being a company. We're still a very young company.
Mhm.
We haven't even hit that 5 year mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, a lot of people call the 5-year mark like a tipping point. Like
Yeah.
when it comes to business.
Yeah.
'cause you
So you
just,
know whether you're gonna stay, right?
yeah,
exactly.
and
you make it,
yeah.
you make it 5 years, and that's a good sign that you can continue.
Mhm.
You've dealt with a lot of the things that you're going to deal with
Exactly.
within
Yeah.
that specific industry and that business.
Yeah.
And if you can handle those things, then
Mhm.
you know, 9 times out of 10 you can continue.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
You've learned a lot about business just over this year, huh?
Absolutely.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what you know is who you know.
One thing specifically is I got a sales tax exemption for my
Uh-huh.
business, and the reason I did that is because in the past we've gotten our materials, plants, dirt, rocks, things like that that we use for landscapes. We had been getting them from retailers,
Oh, yeah.
so it ended up costing a lot more, which you know inevitably is going to eat at the bottom line.
Yeah.
But once you get a sales tax exemption, you can start getting materials from wholesalers.
Yeah.
So you get it at the price that the nursery does in my industry, you know.
Yeah.
Specifically, you get it for the retailer's price because you're not paying tax on those materials. You're charging tax to the customer and then paying the state and the federal government the taxes that you made
Mhm.
off of selling those products.
Wow, yeah.
So that was a big one.
So you dropping jewels right now as you speak.
Yeah.
That's why I'm.
No, absolutely, yeah.
People need to be something to saying. I don't understand how if you don't learn this, you know, then your business will never go nowhere. So
Yeah.
it's not also
Yeah, you
what
gotta
you
know the
know,
fundamentals.
who you know. You gotta know these fundamentals. Like whenever we drop an interview, it's a lot of stuff that we gotta do as protocol as well before we can just start really. You know, the more this business takes off, the more we're gonna have to look after our stuff. So we're learning as well. When we interview y'all, it's stuff that y'all drop that we soak up as well.
You learn something every day.
So every day.
I'm happy to be here.
That's why you gotta select.
Appreciate that.
That's why you gotta choose who you be around. Yeah, I do
Yeah.
appreciate that.
I know we talked about this earlier, but we gotta talk about it on camera. So,
Well, I can only imagine what's coming next.
Okay.
Just judging by the body language and the smile.
it's just hilarious. So, you fell today at work?
Yes,
And-
I almost fell and got pretty. I would have said pretty hurt.
Yeah, it was
Chuck
like,
hadn't been there to catch me.
yeah.
Fell
He
right in
caught
the
you,
arms.
yeah.
So today we drove down to Carrollton, Texas to get a bunch of 30-gallon trees, right?
Uh-huh.
And so these 30-gallon trees are in these pots that are you know this big around.
Mhm.
And on the sides of them, they've got these little wooden handles for 1 or 2 people to carry them with. And,
Yeah.
I guess depending on how much you can lift.
Yeah.
But they're heavy. They're pretty heavy. And so we were unloading the trees from the trailer onto a wheelbarrow to roll over to their resting place. You know?
Yeah.
So I was dragging one, and the handle just broke off, and I had like my left leg behind my right leg, and I was like at the edge of the trailer.
Yeah.
Well, this specific trailer is an open-faced trailer, with pipe tubing going
Yeah.
on the top of it, about maybe 1.5 feet from the floor. Of the trailer.
Yeah.
So in this moment, the handle broke and my body momentum is going this way
Yeah,
off of the
exactly.
trailer to get ready to put the tree in the wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
And I had like nothing to grab onto. Like,
Yeah.
I think I might have hit you on the way down. It's like, that natural instinct to reach and brace for something.
Yeah, exactly.
And Chuck was like right there by the wheelbarrow. He just caught me.
Yeah.
Stood me back up. I was like, he's like, I was like, whoa.
He said to him it was a slow motion.
Yeah.
He had time to think about it. He was just
Yes. I looked up and seen you
This is
coming,
gonna
and
be
it was
a
like, what
second.
the fuck? And then you just,
like, he said
went back.
while it was a slow motion, I'm sure he was thinking like this is about to be an executive decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told Chuck that we're gonna have to film a dramatic reenactment of it.
Oh man, dude. I've thought so many times how cool it would be to just have a couple of GoPros going on the job.
Yeah,
Because
bro.
some of the things that I would have picked up had I been filming.
Yeah.
remember the time you flipped the wheelbarrow?
That's another time.
What happened?
It was straight up in the air like a handstand.
Crush.
Hey,
Crush.
you could have your own little like garden, like Oklahoma landscape and like
Yeah.
TV show.
That'd be cool. We've
Well,
talked
there's
about
channels on YouTube. Like I don't know if you guys have heard of like the Landscape Juggernaut.
No, I
But
don't think so.
he goes and he finds these like abandoned properties that are just like completely overgrown. and
I've
trash.
seen the videos.
And like where the grass is covering the sidewalk.
Yeah.
You can't even tell that there's sidewalk there.
Yeah.
But he goes in and he weed eats and removes all of the stuff
Yeah.
and just like completely changes the look of this whole property.
Yeah, I've seen him do that shit.
And I don't honestly, I don't even know if he's still like doing business with the company because he
Yeah.
gets so many views off of just restoring people's properties. Like,
Yeah, for real.
it's like mowing porn or something.
Yeah.
To just watch him with the weed eater and on the sidewalk, and the sidewalk just appears.
Yeah.
You know.
There is
It's
a.
crazy.
Yeah, I watched there was something that's like oddly satisfying, and it was like that clip, you know, just like making the place look nice again.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, that's dope. And he wasn't getting paid or anything, so
No.
he was just getting the views and
Yeah.
getting paid that way. It's pretty genius, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Just think about
marketing,
TikTok.
that's that boss mentality.
What'd you say?
I just what you think about TikTok.
I mean, I can't really hate on TikTok too much. I don't have a TikTok. The only TikTok I really consume is when my wife shows me something.
Have someone look over your shoulder and you just happened to have scrolled and it was just like you bandered and you was about to switch it but you already caught it.
Yeah. That's what playing out.
That quick.
Are you more worried about TikTok or the red balloons?
Oh, the China, as far as
Yeah.
China, I don't know, man. You know, it's kind of hard to say. You know, China's like a whole other superpower in the
It
world.
is.
You
It's
know?
pretty
You think, exactly. So if they're such a superpower like they say they are, you think they're worried about us? Like they need us for business.
Yeah, but
We still have the
we
number one
need
economy.
them too.
Yeah.
You know how many products we outsource from China?
A lot.
Yeah, but I'm saying as long as we didn't break, well, they already broke ties. Shit, they said.
I read a thing where it would take us at least 10 years after
Yeah.
losing China to start producing everything in-house.
For real though.
And we're
Yeah.
gonna
Oh yeah, for sure. That's what I was telling the bros the other day. Everything comes from China.
Yeah.
That's pretty
I don't
crazy.
see him
I
just
noticed
fucking
when I
that
was a
off.
kid.
That's just
I don't see them just fucking that off to. What's not oh.
I don't know, man. Well, all this talk about invading countries that we're allied with it makes things kind of weird.
It does.
Yeah.
Oh, China invading.
The bro said the other day that Putin said that like he would never take it out on citizens. The citizens he would hit on like the governors and shit like that. So then that means he would have dropped a bomb. That's just
I don't know.
He probably has.
I don't know.
You never know until like
You can't
you
make
never
a
know.
bomb and call it the world ender unless you plan on using it, unless you really had to. And I feel like
I mean, he probably plans on using it as an end gamer.
Well, I mean, think about it.
everybody's build cities underground. Everybody knows about it. They
Yeah.
build underground cities, tunnels for them to live their natural lives. We know that the airplane's gonna take off if they drop any nuclear bombs and it's over with. When that airplane that with all the government officials, when they get on that and they take off in the air, it's doomsday. Like
Yeah.
so, I mean, they're gonna be floating. We're all on the ground. My point is, at the end of the day, it's like, what do you do in that situation? I don't want to fight a war, but at the same time, it's like,
What would you do?
It's
What would I
nuclear
do?
fallout.
During
What
the
do you do at
apocalypse?
that
Like
point?
a
Would you go to
nuclear-
war
I
to
mean,
get
what
checked?
do you do at that point?
Would you trust them to take care of your family? If they told you they would?
Well, I would never trust the government to take care of me. Thanks for asking.
My
Yeah,
point
he said.
exactly.
But, you
They're
know,
gonna FEMA camp you.
yeah,
Don't get me started.
it's not, I could kind of either go both ways on that. You know?
I mean, cause yeah, you don't want to be cannon fodder if you choose to turn tail and run for the mountains.
Sure.
That's
And
what I
they catch
thought.
you out there. But
They're
at
gonna
the
shoot you
same
and the
time,
people down.
Yeah.
if you run, you're still cannon fodder, but now you know a little bit of tactical, and then you might get a gun. Here, go stand in front of the cannon.
You said if you learn, if you learn.
No, I said you're still cannon fodder. Now, my thing is yes,
Yeah. Learn and then learn.
but you know this is hypothetical speaking. We're not going to go into detail. What I would do. What I would do is just in general. Try to learn as much as I could. Yes, I would love to fight for my country, but in my mindset, it would be hard to believe that you really take my family to a facility and they're safe. Or did you take them to a facility and now they're like POW because it's like either you're gonna get down, lay down. This is the perfect opportunity to start a new world order. You're in war, so when you come back from war, now that we done took 95% of every able man, and if they're not dead at this point, bringing them back. They're either gonna comply through your training that you was just brainwashed through to learn how to fight, but we're not gonna get into that either. We're gonna say, just in general, hypothetically, that you took care of my family and I can go back to them. And I'm not gonna be a prisoner of war as well when I say this. The only reason I say this is because it's hard to believe that when you go to war with another country, bro, that it's not just gonna be like.
So we better off just going my idea.
What's up?
Shit, we'll just start a small civilization.
Oh yeah,
Small militia.
commune. That's already in the works.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, but this is all hypothetically speaking.
Yeah.
Just in all reality, I feel like I would love to fight for my country, but it would be so hard for me to focus and do my job fighting for my country, trying to believe that my family is not suffering in no camp.
Yeah.
Just, I look at life for how it is, and
It'd be better to stand right there with you.
oh shit, my daughter on the front line.
Hell yeah.
She's gonna be if you go on the run.
Yeah.
If you don't, if they tell you to go to war and you don't, then yeah, she's gonna be on the
Okay,
front
alright,
line.
so I have to ask, what kind of scenario was playing out in you guys' head? Is it like a nuclear bombs drop?
No,
red,
because
like
no,
Red
before it
Dawn?
gets
Like
there,
Red
no.
Dawn?
Yeah, like
scenario?
some Red Dawn type
Okay,
shit.
That's dope.
See,
Yeah.
Red Dawn scenario, you definitely should be able, it's every man for itself. I'm talking
Sure.
about like, with this stuff with Russia, how I see it planning out is everybody would have to go to war. They would, and then
So like
unless
World
it's
War
going to
II,
war,
like World War II.
martial law
Yeah.
would be
Like a
issued.
draft.
Yeah, draft.
Martial law would have to be issued at that point. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause it's gonna be chaos. Everybody's gonna either be trying to dodge, not go to war, so it's gonna be that regardless.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The people who are gonna turn tail and run become cannon fodder.
Well, when they
I
did,
didn't know that. I thought you had a choice. Like either you was gonna run and go, and they'll probably lock you up. Like no,
yeah.
just
Well,
go around. You're being put in front of the thing. It's like no, ain't no going to jail. You're going to hell when they put you in front of the thing. Like
What was you gonna say, bro?
well, even like the last big war we had, like with Vietnam, and they had like drafts, like we didn't go into martial law, and like it wasn't like
it
there was
wouldn't have
still
been unnecessary.
there were still like massive protests and
Majority
Yeah,
of
but
people still hippies.
yeah, that's true.
yeah.
But we're talking about like if
But
actual
you're talking
they
about the
attack.
segregation. You're talking about damn near segregation.
That's what we're talking
days.
about.
Yeah.
The
We're
human
talking about like
mentality was
if
still
they
like
attack the motherland.
Whitney Lynch shit.
What?
We're talking about like if they actually
Jim Crow,
attack
like,
us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if we
Yeah.
actually.
I,
You know what I'm saying?
I do, yeah.
Like they were more compliant back then. Everybody was still hippie. Like, bro, we just came out of slavery. We ain't trying to really cause no trouble to put, bring that
Hell
shit
no,
back.
they wasn't
Yeah.
And then
compliant.
everybody was in
Killing
hippie
motherfuckers.
days. Of course, they were more
Vietnam was
compliant back
crazy.
then. So no, they wouldn't have had to have issued martial law. Because motherfuckers was trying to put fucking daffodils inside
They
the barrel of
threatened
your gun and shit. Talking about peace.
Shit,
You know they all got killed.
I'm sure.
The people, you can look it up on. It's called a massacre on it's in Kentucky. When the iconic putting the flower in the gun.
Oh
Yeah, they got
Oh,
killed.
he shot. I
Yeah.
saw a clip. of that. I didn't know
Yeah.
that was real.
What happened?
I didn't know that
It was
was
just
real.
like the college protesting, like the hippie people, and they had soldiers pointing guns at them. One of the hippies put flowers in them. You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah.
Put a
But they
daisy
were-
inside the barrel
yeah.
of the rifle.
Yeah, it's a really iconic
And they all
thing.
opened
but,
fire on the kids and they all
Yeah.
got killed.
yeah, not all of them, but
Shown out.
yeah. There
So
was
that
like,
just goes to show that at the end of the day, either you're gonna comply or you're gonna die. So how I look at it, you know, in my mindset, I imagine if it's Red Dawn, I'm gonna try to get my family and friends and we're gonna run for the mountains and survive.
Well, and then you gotta think
Because
about-
you're fighting the enemies from all angles.
Yeah.
You don't have nowhere to go. It ain't no way like I can go enlist and yes, you know, do this. But if it was like, okay, they're talking about they're coming invading, they're coming at our shores, you gotta enlist. Yeah, I'll go because I don't want to be cannon fodder.
Sure, yeah. I think there's a couple of reasons why that could
But
probably.
I couldn't trust my
Seriously,
family.
seriously, there's a couple of reasons why that's probably never going to happen. Number one is because the United States of America, the citizens own 81% of the firearms. And number two, the sheer size and force of the Navy and the Air Force.
yeah,
And
yeah.
how closely they monitor stuff like that. Because I have a half brother and he's in the Navy. He's a nuclear engineer, and they're just right now they're all over the place.
Oh, really?
In he was just recently in the Mediterranean.
Oh, really?
And,
Okay, don't
you know,
say too much.
oh, I can't. That's all I know.
Yeah, that's cool,
That's all I
man.
know. He
Don't
won't
get his
tell
wife
me.
too.
He can't tell me anything else.
Yeah.
No, I always got to pay my respects to the military. I got
Yeah,
a couple
shout
guys
out.
in the military.
I mean, I like
no
I
more
said,
interviews. Hopefully he's still down.
fighting for my country.
Hopefully
is
he's
one
watching.
thing, but
Uh,
I don't want to be all just New World Order BS. But just man, it's just like I believe that it's a bigger, you know what I'm saying, small of this percent of this world that's really playing chess with the masses' lives, and we're a game of risk. At the end
yeah,
of
of
the day.
course. That's what politics
So,
is. It's a game.
and that's what I feel like, man. It's hard to believe. Like, if I could tuck my family in the mountains somewhere, yes, I'll go gladly sign
Yeah.
myself for the war. And
Well-
if push came to shove and shit was going to storm, fuck it. I hope I can talk a homie into taking the chopper and dropping me off.
Yeah. Well, you know, World War One. People called it the Great War, but also a lot of people in Europe back then, they called it the Family War because all the countries that were fighting, they were all related. They were either related through marriage or they related, through blood.
It's interesting.
And they were all the dictators.
Yeah, they were all the presidents.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you.
yeah.
That's what politics
And
is with us.
and like at the turn of the century, they started coming up with machine guns. They had tanks, and I really feel like that they were really just wanting to test out all their weapons. Because it was like war on a massive scale, and nobody would ever saw that until that point.
Yeah.
So if you ever seen All Quiet on the Western Front, it shows it from the German perspective in World War One when they first see British tanks rolling through, and it's like a horror movie almost because those things just sit there and then these bombs explode and yeah.
I look at it like Hunger Games. That's basically what the fuck they want to do with us. Just Hunger Games. At the end of the day, that's where, when I imagine New World Order FEMA camps, I imagine Hunger Games.
I liked the first couple. The
Full
first
control
100 games, but they
over
went too
everybody,
far with it.
but
I never watched it.
you know what I'm saying?
I read the
Of
books.
course, you
Oh,
know
really?
about the Ohio incident, you know what I'm saying, what it's doing to the crops. You know, all of our food comes from Ohio. You know what I'm saying? You know what happens when all that stuff goes in the air. I mean, you can say that The Simpsons is just a TV show, but it's predicted more than enough things that would make you curious to believe that they're dropping Easter eggs. And I've always been a firm believer of movies are Easter eggs to what's really going on in life, and you can choose to pick it up or not. It's like the way of, if I was an elite and I could do something in your face, broadly show you what's going on, and you perceive it as just entertainment, it's the ultimate laugh in your face.
Well,
That book is called Receipts.
there's also so much media that's been made in the last 100 years where, of course something had to be like coincidences, you know, like.
What made me go from not to put you on,
What do you mean,
from a
like
terrorist?
copycat type? Like,
Yeah, like I mean, there's so many like easily like 120 years
Yeah.
they've been starting movies and stuff. So like,
and it's like you said, that's your
Yeah.
conscience too. You got an idea. You get
Copycats
ideas
is
from
true.
other people and not even know it.
yeah,
Because you heard them say something and you come up with a completely different idea,
Mhm.
but that's your conscience. You thought about what these people were saying.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
You can subconsciously project ideas to someone. There's plenty of times you've probably been thinking of a song in your head and the person next to you started singing lyrics from that song, if not what you were saying in your head. Yes, you do that. It's a lot of things that you can do in this world, but also, you know, an even more prime example, you probably put in your name in Xbox and somebody had the same name. You had to add 420 and they did that, and you had 422 and they did that too. Then you had 422X, and then it's like, okay, I can use that. Everybody's done that because everybody's brain is some way connected. Just like you can look dead at the person who was watching you eat at a restaurant, even if they just looked at you for a second because they thought you looked at somebody. You drop food off your fork, you look at them and they turn their head. It's like, so you the motherfucker who was looking at me.
You can feel it.
You can feel it. Like we're all in a way connected. Like
I hear in the military, I don't know if this is true, this is something I heard, but if you're like scoping out like somebody, like you gotta kill like a target, like they say not to really stare at them because it's like a sixth sense almost. Like
Yeah, they know you're staring at.
Yeah.
Just like I was just explaining with the restaurant there, it's a sense. Like if you've ever been in a house watching a movie and you'll go look down a dark hall. Yes, something staring at your ass. Yes, there's something there. The same theory that went with that restaurant, that's what you felt. Honest to God, that's what that was.
I can see that.
Your brain just don't look at. You don't do it in every other house you go in. You'll just be chilling in a house one night watching a movie and you'll just random like look in a dark kitchen or look in a corner and just
Yeah.
like, God damn, like what am I doing? Like,
One time I watched a
You
movie.
did that for a reason.
One time I watched a movie about shadow figures and stuff, and at the end of it, it said, "Now you will see them too." And then I worked.
That's fucked up.
And then I worked 12 hours or 10 hours, then I got off work
The
at 4 in the
ring
morning,
used to scare me.
and I like opened the door and then I closed it,
Start
and then I closed the door and I looked and I saw like the shape of a person. I even saw a hat, and then I turned on the light and it was like my hat rack and my coat rack, and I was like, I just put two and two together and thought I was seeing a shadow.
That show shifted your perspective.
Yeah, I was
So,
like, yeah.
the second you were in the dark and
Yeah.
there could have been quote unquote shadow people there.
Yeah,
your mind
I opened-
automatically rationalized that.
There was like a small light and I saw a figure and I was like, what the fuck?
Like
Yeah.
shadow people. That's like fucking shit with Ouija boards and shit like that.
I was going to ask you the same thing I asked the homie Brown Boy because we've known y'all forever.
Hey, didn't we have some candy?
From the time we had at the Vidoc and all that, did you ever think we'd be here making a fucking podcast?
Yeah, at the time, no, because like, podcasts were like happening and you know people were doing it, but it wasn't near as popular as it is now.
Yeah, for sure.
People, a lot
Or
of
did you think we'd be doing business, landscaping?
No, I don't. I couldn't see that. You know, we both had our own journeys through our entrepreneurial experiences in the beginning. You know, and so you know once we experienced that, you know, it's like business is something that I can really immerse myself into.
Yeah, for sure.
You remember that time we was meeting up at the Bronx?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Howard Stern made me want to do podcasts just because I thought like
He was probably the first podcast for Howard Stern.
He was getting away with like everything when I was a kid. There was a
Yeah.
lot of stuff I probably should have seen from the show as a kid too. I mean, but
Oh, my dad loved Howard Stern.
not a father figure.
Yeah.
You grow up a lot more adult than you should.
Yeah. Well, see, I was like 12, 13, 14, you know, in the truck with my dad. He'd be listening to like Howard Stern and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He'd always be like, don't you tell your mom I let you listen to
Man,
this.
his TV show, bro.
What was he on ETV?
Was,
He was on
After
VH1.
Dark.
He
It
was
pretty
yeah.
X-rated.
Yeah, no,
hell yeah.
Hey, you remember growing up seeing
That's why I
like,
came on After Dark.
like real
Everything.
sex on TV?
What's that?
Real sex on TV?
I watched it.
Like everybody had adult channels. I mean, like not adult channels. Everybody who had like satellite
I like
had like the.
But it came on
like
like
Stars
it came
and
on like
Showtime
HBO.
and
Yeah,
HBO.
the pre
HBO back in the day, yeah.
Oh, stupid.
Uh,
I used to be up late, like just everybody sleep like aliens.
Yeah.
Fuck, I was a horrible kid, like for real.
I think that's pretty normal.
Man,
Yeah.
Honestly.
no, I'm saying in general, just a badass kid. Like I was just too adult for my age. Like in
Well,
general, like growing up, I was just mastermind and shit already. I was just, I hung around adults. I didn't have no
Yeah.
gay friends. I was just that, like the baby. So I had to go with my mom everywhere, and it's just I was just in the mix. It's like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? That's why you gotta bring up that like turn your head, it's adult shit. Like I grew up in that area, you know, like don't watch this is adult business, going there, but after a while it was just like the veil was, and I was out there trying to do everything grown up.
Yeah.
I remember, and I was a big kid, so I'm thinking at my age, I was probably 8, telling my brother I'm 13, and they like, oh shit, you 13. You can hit that like that. Yeah, fuck yeah. So in my mind, an 8-year-old, I'm thinking 13 is a grown up age, so I can get the.
How old was you when you was making them things?
Maybe what?
In Dallas.
Oh, I was probably 17
Oh,
17.
when we started doing that. And I think I was like 20 the last time.
That's crazy. I did not realize it went on that
This
long.
was a short window. Yeah, definitely.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
For me personally, it was 3 years. You know, I do remember that. I do remember
Yeah.
those ages. Yeah. I was working at
So
CB.
you've always been a businessman, huh?
In a sense, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
That's why I like you, KB.
Yeah, I've always had that entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah.
You
For
know,
real.
but I was lazy in the past. And I gotta say, one thing that completely turned my life around was like we talked about earlier, being around positive people who are doing things,
Yeah.
setting
Yeah.
goals and stuff.
That's
With starting Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu,
Yeah, for real.
that being around those people and having those, it's almost like a spiritual experience.
Yeah.
When you're in that situation, when you're sparring and rolling with someone. Nothing else matters.
Yeah.
If you're going against somebody who is an upper belt, or
Yeah.
has been doing it longer than you, your main goal is to survive.
Yeah,
Is to not
yeah.
be compromised and
Yeah.
tapped or put in a situation like that where then when you're going with someone who's not as experienced as you.
Yeah.
How I feel is like this is an opportunity to teach somebody something.
Yeah.
Put them in those situations just like the people before me did.
Yeah, for real.
Because they kicked my ass.
Yeah.
Night in and night out, They
Yeah,
kicked my ass over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Until I got savvy to the things that they were doing.
Yeah, for
And I
sure.
started learning my own technique
Yeah.
within myself. And so at that moment when those guys that were kicking my ass weren't able to kick my ass
Yeah.
anymore, it was like, okay, now this is something.
Yeah, for
we
real.
can go with this.
That's
Yeah.
why I was asking you earlier. We got off subject. So what is your normal? What is your routines, your daily routines? And to help you, when you was first getting on your path to getting right, getting your mind right, getting everything. What was your routines? What helped you the most?
Definitely meditation is a big one. Taking that time. Yeah, meditation, jiu-jitsu, strength training. I'll be honest, I don't do a lot of cardio anymore. I think the cardio that I do get is going to be from jiu-jitsu, which is not really cardio.
So you just keep yourself busy.
I did, and I didn't talk to a lot of people, hardly at all. Unless you were immediately right there in my life, I didn't reach out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I didn't go hang.
It wasn't important to you, then there was no reason to be around them.
Yeah, if it wasn't
Friendship
getting me,
shouldn't be one-sided.
sure, absolutely.
By the time we wrap this up, is there anything you want to say before we close?
Well, just thanks you guys for reaching out and having me on. This is a really cool experience. This is my first ever podcast I've ever been on, so it's actually really cool.
And all of our guests for sure, we gotta show love. We want to bring all of the guests we've had. We want to bring them back
Yeah, okay.
and do another one.
Yeah, for sure.
Once we get our shit together more, once we get better.
Maybe even yearly, we do a checkup and see how your business was from nowadays until a year from now.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah, for sure. Oh shit, yeah, this is the only camera that's not dead.
Okay.
But yeah, we gotta wrap it up. Alright. Hell yeah. Alright. Thank you guys for tuning in.
This is the Three Mustard. Appreciate you guys for coming out and join us.
No, that's the only one that's not dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And make sure to like, if you like us, then you can subscribe, and if you don't like us, then at least give us a like, maybe.
And follow us on Facebook.
And
Yeah.
share.
And if you need anything, hardscapes, landscapes, pretty much anything you need done outside, give us a call at A&E Landscape and Maintenance, and we can get it done.
We'll put the number and information down below on the screen so y'all have that. It should be down right about now anyways. But we appreciate you guys. Thank you. Once again, you have a good night.
Awesome. That was good. Hell yeah. Alright. Hell yeah. We're done.
Sweet.
Yeah. That went pretty good, didn't it?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
great.
yeah.